So, two things. One is my phone was so bloated last night. I met a friend who bought me a cup of coffee, and then we went over to the park where my grandfather and I used to walk around. I know him for some time. I met him at Starbucks. He is, I guess, dual resident, whatever. So he was. Thing is that really nice man. However, he had had a few drinks, and he was like, you could be more flirtatious. And I said, yeah, I could be, but I'm not. And he's like, you shouldn't wear the scarf so, you look so, like, stuffy, you've got to be like a challenge for a man. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, right. No, I'm looking for one man. I was like, have you ever heard of a man called Mark King, by any chance? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay. I was like, right, he's probably not your part of the world. What about, have you heard of Niklaus Hitler? And he goes, no. And I was like, oh, all right, well, that's college sweetheart. I was like, only one man I'm looking for in this entire planet. I was like, then I will be flirtatious, and I will, take a scarf off when I'm with another gentleman. So, here's the thing, right, and then it was like the whole, you should date more, and you should do this and that. Yeah, I should, except I have no desire, I never did, for like multiple dating, like what, why? Like, I know that the starfish, like, and here's the other thing, like most people, like, especially in America, like all areas stupid, it's like the word king, they get confused, like Lou, like no such thing exists, great, okay. But you know what does exist, Lou? Starfish. Starfish. They're gigantic 5-legged, some of them are 8-legged. I mean, they have multiple legs, but they exist. I've seen them in the Caribbean. So we'll go with, he's like a starfish, and except in the ocean, usually they're a little more plentiful. But, right, there's only one of him and one of me. Although I do have to say that he said to me yesterday how beautiful I was, and that I really shouldn't be so cooped up. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. One is I don't have money to go out drinking or sitting at a bar, hoping that someone just walks in, like the one person out of like 7.5 billion that I'm looking for. I was like, second of all, because I don't have a job and I have no money, I can't really get my hair done. I have no money for makeup. I have no money for clothes. So it makes going out a little difficult. And then, like, where in New York City would one go? Like, what do people do in New York City? I fucking hate it here. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm not like any of the women that I've met, I don't want to hang out with. Like if there was like Claudia women, like my cousin Claudia Dean, like an intellect, like the one that went to London, got a PhD in Michigan, she got her master's, her I would hang out with. But like in New York City, there's none of those. It's like all areas socialite assholes, like I put up on Facebook last night. Like the New York City housewives of like dipshits and lollipops, and like I have plenty of money and the New York City's being invaded, so let's just throw big parties and not do anything, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we've noticed how fucking helpful you are with the rest of the world, assholes. I put that up on Facebook last night. Also, I put up, I was like, what's funny is that when I was little, I went to Sarah Vermylan's house in Lloyd Harbor. I know that she was, her father was somebody really special. And I really liked Sarah Vermylan. She was very quiet and reserved, very much. Actually, she was more quiet than I was. She actually brought my personality out because I felt so awkward that we were both so quiet. I was trying, like, to be funny. I was like, well, what do you girls do? Like, I don't really, I've never really hung out with girls before, so... right, and definitely not outside of my cousins and my aunts and uncles. So, right, and it was Sarah invited us over for a sleepover when we were in Miss Craigler's class, I think after Mark left. It was Sarah Vermylan, it was Samantha Kipling, it was Jessie McCarthy, I think. I don't know. I called her Rolo because she liked those disgusting chocolate candies with the caramel in the middle. That was her name for like through junior high, was Rolo. I was like, hey Rolo, what's going on? And that happened in second grade in Lloyd Harbor Elementary. So Vermylan, right, when I was there, they told me that I was the greatest witch. Like their parents already knew that I was going to be the greatest witch that ever lived. I said, I'm the greatest witch. Now, what do you mean by witch? I was like, because my family have never, they don't speak of such things. Like, what does that mean to you? Like a Halloween witch? Like with the big black hats? Like what is that? What does a witch mean? And then they all giggled like that I didn't know what they were talking about. But I swear to God, like even when people speak English to me, it's like a foreign language. I'm like, because I have to try to decipher the code from where you're compelled with your capelli, your hair, right? What compels like the connection between you and the outside science? It's not like a mean thing. It's just I'm always curious as a diagnostic, not human, and knowing a lot of things, to sit here and go, right, what would make you say that to me? Now, who would send me that kind of a message in the world? Okay, so, right, I'll play along. So I'm the greatest witch that's ever been known, and we're only like, what, 7? Now, what do you mean by that, right? And they're like, so I just put up on Facebook a song called I'm In Too Deep by Psalm 41, which was a competition of men, I guess like a swimming competition, like you could say like in the Olympics, right? Like the high dive, and like a whole bunch of boys, like jocks, just like showing off and like whatever for some fancy numbers on the side, which I guess some boys do. I don't know. I haven't met any. So so Sarah Vermylan tells me, right, that I'm the greatest witch that's ever known. And then she was asking me questions, and I'm going like, right. So then they were like, you know what, forget it. Let's talk about something else. Okay. So they led the conversation because I didn't know what girls talk about or what was whatever they were talking about. In like really rich people who invite a poor girl over that they know things about that doesn't even know those things herself because her parents are like switched off in the head for some reason. Let's see. And then Sarah got really sick at one point. She blew up like a balloon with some kind of rare blood disease, which I didn't know what that was about. Oh, and here's the other funny thing. I think I've mentioned this before, but she, on the invitation, invited me to sleep over until I think 12 the next day. I wanted to spend extra time alone with her because she said she did too. So I erased, with talking to her, of course, I erased the 1 because it was in pencil of the time 12. So we made the pickup time 2 p.m. So when my parents got there, her parents were really mad, and I was like, I don't know time. We don't know how to tell time yet, but whatever. So, and then her father yelled at my parents. My mom was like, no. She's like, here, see, it says 12. And he's like, she says 2 right there. And he was like, oh, actually, it was 12. And then I had to apologize that I might have wanted to spend a little extra time with Sarah. So I was really sorry. And that I had erased the 1. And then that was it. But I fessed up. I came clean. Later on, Sarah did get very sick. I don't know why. But I will go back to the whole witches thing. Here's the thing. There's this thing when people didn't know how to read and write, right? You always say that a witch has spells, right? They know how to spell S-P-E-L-L. People have heard of these things, right? You conjure up a spell. Right, yeah. Well, in other places, like ancient Egypt, we call it Pharisees. Like the pharaoh is the giver of words, right? And so, but that's in certain New Kingdom and dynastics. Then you have the witch spells. She casts a spell, right? And then there's a compel like they compel you to do something. Yeah, well, when you spell something just the right way with all the right facts and you give an ultimatum as a compelling reason to go do something, or you'll suffer these consequences. It used to work. People used to move. I don't know what's going on in this modern age of everybody's a fucking shitbag and doesn't know how to like read the correct word and actually do the right thing. We used to use compelling words to give reasons about future events that you don't want to occur. So normally you take action in the other direction to make sure that the thing you didn't want to turn out, like, didn't turn out. We didn't usually have to come back and do like customer service follow-up for witches things. Usually the witch gives you a compelling reason, and you switch your operation to the way they need you to go, so this way we lead the world safely. Apparently man is all area down in the head, because you can't even compel them to do one correct thing. I've been waiting 41 years, and we tried before, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm ready to get the fuck out of here, though. I'm done with humans. Like, I never see another human for whatever. I'm good. How do we, like, go back to, like, where we belong in I don't do this full time?